Hello friends, welcome to our UGC NET English Literature preparation series. Let's begin with our first question.
Here is the question. Which two cities are referred to in Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities? Now let's look at the options. Paris and Venice, Venice and Florence, London and Paris, London and Birmingham. Just take a moment to think about the answer. Ready? The correct answer is option 3, London and Paris. Here is a quick explanation to help you remember. A Tale of Two Cities is one of Dickens' most famous historical novels. It is set against the backdrop of the French Revolution. The novel's iconic opening line immediately establishes the two cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. So while Dickens wrote extensively about London in many novels, this specific tale is about the dynamic between London and Paris during French Revolution. Remember this key literary fact for your exam. That concludes the first question. Let's move on to the next one. Now let's begin with the second question. Edgar Allan Poe is often called as the originator of the short story as an established genre. He defined the prose tale as. Now carefully consider these options. Option 1. A narrative which can be read at one sitting of from half an hour to 2 hours. Option 2. A narrative which can be read within 5 minutes or less. Option 3. A narrative that can be read at one sitting or from 1 hour to 4 hours. And option 4. A narrative that may be concluded and enjoyed in the single spell of less than half an hour. Which option is the correct one? Just think about it. Yes, the correct answer is option 1. Here is the breakdown of why this is the key concept to remember. Edgar Allan Poe was a master of the short story and also one of its first major theorists. He used to believe in the unity of effect. In his seminal essay, The Philosophy of Composition, he argued that a work of literature must be short enough to be read in a single sitting. This was crucial to maintain a powerful, unified, emotional or psychological impact. Here is the question. The essay Discourse in the Novel discusses that the novel is constituted by a multiplicity of divergent and contending social voices. Who is the author of this essay? Now look at your options. Option 1. E.M. Forster. Option 2. Mikhail Bakhtin. Option 3. Dostoevsky. Option 4. Edgar Allan Poe. Think about the correct answer. Yes, the correct answer is option 2. Mikhail Bakhtin. Let's break down why this is such an important concept. Mikhail Bakhtin was a Russian philosopher and literary theorist. He revolutionized how we understand the novel. In his essay Discourse in the Novel, he introduced the crucial concept of heteroglossia. Heteroglossia refers to the idea that a novel is not made of a single authoritative voice, but is a complex web of many different social languages, class voices, and ideological perspectives. They are also found to be competing and interacting with each other. For your extra information, E.M. Forster wrote aspects of the novel. Dostoevsky was a novelist whose work Bakhtin actually analyzed, and Poe was a writer and a poet. So, for the specific idea of multiple social voices, the credit undoubtedly goes to Mikhail Bakhtin. Here is the question. Which among the following is not a character from Jane Austen's novel Persuasion? The options are option 1. Sir Walter Elliot. Option 2. Lady Russell. Option 3. Miss Crawford. Option 4. Frederick Wentworth. Just think about it. Yes, the correct answer is option 3. Miss Crawford. Miss Crawford is a memorable character in Austen's Mansfield Park, not Persuasion. Now, let's move on to the question 5. Here is the question. Prose romances preceded the emergence of novel as a popular literary genre. Which texts among the following fall under the category of prose romance? Here are the options. Option 1, The Pilgrim's Progress and The Spectator. Option 2, Orunoko and the Fair Jilt. Option 3, Pamela and Clarissa. Option 4, Amelia and Ferdinand, Count Fathom. Just think about it. Yes, the correct answer is option 2, Orunoko and the Fair Jilt. Let's discuss about this. The key figure here is Afra Ben. She was active in the late 17th century. Her works like Orunoko and the Fair Jilt are prime examples of prose romance. Now, let's see the difference between prose romance and novel. Prose romance, as you know, is a narrative form focusing on idealized adventures, aristocratic characters, and improbable plots on love and wonder. While novel is a narrative form that presents a realistic picture of everyday life with real-like plots and complex middle-class characters. They are both extended works of fiction written in prose, and they are also historically connected because prose romance can be called as the direct predecessor of modern novel. Simply speaking, in prose romance we find fantasy and idealism, while in novel we find realism and social observation. So now let's continue to question number 6. Let me read the question. An introduction by Kamala Das is, here are the options. Option 1, a short story on the theme of people's rights and freedom. Option 2, an introduction to her autobiography My Story. Option 3, a poem of resistance and protest. Option 4, an essay on the theme of gender rights. Just think about it. Yes, the correct answer is option 3, a poem of resistance and protest. Here is the reason why. Her famous lines are like this: I am every woman who seeks love. She also rebels linguistically by defending her choice to write in English. She speaks, the language I speak becomes mine. It is as human as I am human. Here is the question. Transcendental Club was a group of American intellectuals for philosophical discussions. Which text among the following is taken as a short treatise on transcendentalism? Consider these options. Option 1, Emerson's Nature. Option 2, Thoreau's Walden. Option 3, Whitman's Leaves of Grass. And option 4, Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. Just think about it. Yes, the correct answer is option 1, Emerson's Nature. Here is the context that makes this a vital contribution. Nature, published anonymously in 1936, is widely considered as the unofficial manifesto of the transcendentalist movement. This short book laid the foundation of the movement's core principles: the divinity of nature, the importance of individual intuition over organized religion, and the concept of the oversoul. It means it connects all beings. Now let us see why the other options, though important, are not the defining treatise. Option 2, that is about Thoreau's Walden, it is a profound application of these ideas, a personal experiment in simple living, but it is not the foundational theoretical text. Option 3, that is about Whitman's Leaves of Grass, it is a poetic embodiment of transcendentalist spirit, but it is not a philosophical treatise, it is just a collection of poems. And option 4, that is Thoreau's Civil Disobedience, it is a political essay on transcendentalist individualism, but it focuses on a specific political application, not the movement's core philosophy. To sum up, Nature is the seminal work that introduced and defined the philosophy. We may consider the others as magnificent expansion or implementation of its ideas. So, let's move on to the question 8. The question is, Antonio Gramsci's prison notebooks primarily deals with, here are the options: pain of a person during colonial times, recollections of love, romance and blissful life, philosophy, culture, literature and role of intellectuals, exploitation of blacks during the colonial times. Think about it for a while. Yes, the correct answer is option 3, philosophy, culture, literature, and role of intellectuals. Here is a breakdown of why this is a definitive answer. Antonio Gramsci was an Italian Marxist philosopher. He was imprisoned by Mussolini's fascist rule. His prison notebooks is not a prison diary. He never speaks about his own suffering here. They are a series of profound theoretical explorations, may be called a philosophical work. In this, he developed his seminal concepts of hegemony. It means how the ruling class maintains power by force and controls the cultural and ideological institutions. Let me read the question. Panopticism is a concept that refers to external spying. Who among the following coined this term? Here are the options. Option 1, Antonio Gramsci. Option 2, Michael Foucault. Option 3, Slavoj Žižek. Option 4, Roland Barthes. Which one is correct? Yes, the correct answer is option 2, Michael Foucault. Here is the crucial context you need to know. Michael Foucault, a French philosopher and historian of ideas, developed the concept of panopticism in his seminal 1975 work Discipline and Punish. In simple words, panopticism can be considered as a mode of social control. The concept is based on the panopticon, a prison designed by the utilitarian philosopher Jeremy Bentham. The design features a central tower from which a guard can see all the prisoners, but the prisoners cannot see the guard. Foucault used this as a powerful metaphor for modern disciplinary societies. The key is that the possibility of being watched at any moment forces individuals to regulate their own behavior. It is not just about literal spying. It is about how power operates indirectly through systems of surveillance in institutions like schools, hospitals, and factories by creating self-policing subjects. So remember these key words: Foucault, panopticism, discipline and punish. Now let's continue to question 10. Here is question 10. Which among the following writers remarked, "I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by a conscious endeavor"? Now consider the options. Option 1, Henry David Thoreau. Option 2, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Option 3, Henry James. Option 4, Emily Dickinson. Just think for a while. The correct answer is option 1, Henry David Thoreau. Let's discuss about the answer. This powerful statement comes from Thoreau's seminal work Walden. It documents his experiment in simple living and self-reliance at Walden. Thoreau, a key figure in the transcendentalist movement, emphasized individualism, nature, and the power of purposeful action. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing my channel to get more and more educational content like this.